It is my privilege to be here and speak with you about a project that within the product team I've been involved in right from the start. And that's because really when it came to developing a collagen product, what we wanted to do was take a very different route. And, thank you for that really kind introduction. The reason why I want to lean on that a little bit is that my interest when it came to collagen had nothing to do with beauty, nothing to do with aesthetics, and had everything to do with skin health, and in fact, human health, and understanding the pathways that best enable skin health. And then when you invest in skin health, then you get better overall skin integrity. The skin looks better, and then for those people who do want better looking skin, well, you win because you get the real version. You don't get the patched up version. You don't get a quick fix. You get an investment in health that produces the outcome that you actually want. And so we really had to delve into the research and focus on this because my background, for those of you who don't know, has been kind of nutrition and physiology and what we call chronobiology, environmental physiology. So, really, for me, I've always looked at how you can optimize human performance with nutrition, how you've helped people to recover when they've been in hospital with human nutrition. This was a very different approach. And so it's been an amazing experience from a learning point of view and also from an outcome point of view. Because if you want something different, you have to do something different. And that's what we did. And so then, and this is rare, the opportunity came with regards to the product that we're making available in the Australian market. And, for you people down in that incredible part of the world, is we had to go back to the textbooks and do it again. So we had to really innovate and go, what's the best possible way we can do this? And I love that challenge because you have to think differently again to something you've already considered. And that's what we did. And we produced a product called Collagen, which I'm going to bring up now. I've got slides. For those of you who know me, I do have a tendency to just talk and I don't really need presentation slides. And believe it or not, I use them for your sake, not mine, because it keeps me on track. It stops me going off and talking about all different kind of things, and it helps to keep me on time, which I'm not famous for, just so you know. So it's good that you're all at home, comfortable, because I know I'm meant to do 35 minutes, but let's see how we get on. Let's see how we get on. Wish me luck. I'm here. Hopefully, I'm going to make this entertaining and informative for you. And I'm going to position this product so that you really understand more than the product because I want you to understand why it matters and why it matters to all of you, no matter how old you are, what you do. This is a product that is really about human vitality. That's what it's about. So let me see if I can bring up my slides. Not famous for my technological expertise. Oh, there we go. Isn't that a beautiful picture? That's to just make you relax from the start. Looking at these, I think that's Norwegian fjords, but there we are. Isn't it beautiful? And we're going to look at Collagen Boozt X. And Boost X is a development, it's an advancement on the original collagen boost that we released nearly 2 years ago now. And what you have to bear in mind, let's set this up from the start, is that regardless of what the science says, different territories, different parts of the world, they have regulatory bodies and authorities that stipulate parameters when it comes to what you can put in a formulation. And we always embrace that because we go, right, we can work with that. That's a good thing. We've got clarity. We know what we can do. Now let's get creative there and let's really maximize what we can do in that space under those rules. And so we made the original collagen boost and we had, let's say, literally more flexibility with regards to what we could do. And that made life really easy. But when it came to Australia and New Zealand, we had to really get our thinking caps on and go, okay, can we make something that is every bit as functional, as powerful as the original under these rules? And we did. And in fact, before we came on live, I was having a bit of a conversation that was to say, given everything that we've learned, if we were to just start today, what would be the product we'd develop? It would be this one. This is such an elegant and powerful product. But forget products for a minute because I want to take you through a bit more of the kind of background. This is our expansion of the Collagen Boost family, and it won't end here. So there's the one that we have in Europe. There's this one that we have specifically for all of you. And then watch this space because we got something else coming out in the near future too. So beauty from within is no longer a trend. It used to be this idea that it was, skin from within. It was a provocative marketing thing to say. It was an idea, but it's no longer a trend. It's the new standard, and we've played a major role in establishing that as the standard, because the science around the area came together to create a product and to create a line of thinking that really cleared the way. We know this is the way that you have to do it. If you're going to do it for real, this is the kind of step that you have to take. And so, whenever you do that and you position that and people pay attention, then it makes a change. And that change can be measured and we can quantify that change. And so, what we see now is a huge part of the industry that is moving more towards its research, its development, and its investment in getting this right. Realizing that the history of skincare has really been about patching things up and that we're in a different place. We've got better science, better research, better access to more compelling information, and we can do things in a more meaningful and powerful way. So, to understand why it makes a difference, we have to understand what it is. And collagen really, and I want to make this really simple for you, but collagen is the glue that keeps everything together. So when you start to think of your body as all these articulating, definable parts, whether it's the skin, the muscle, the bone, neurological tissue, all these things that you can go across. Well, collagen is kind of the glue, the substance that keeps it all together. It gives it form, gives it function. And as we can see over the years, typically an age-related change is that the amount of collagen we produce goes down. So we produce less collagen year after year, particularly after the age of 21, 22, around about that age. And just to clarify this, when we're born, we're in our rapid growth and development phase, and that growth and development and maturation really builds up and builds up until around about age 21, 22. And then that's where we've reached our peak growth. After that is when the aging process commences. And it's not dramatic. It's not suddenly that you go to bed one day all youthful and vibrant and you wake up the next day and things don't look right. It's progressive. And the biggest influence on aging are the choices that you make. That's just a fact. We talk a lot about anti-aging when really what we should be talking about is normalizing the aging process. You can make choices that advance it. So bear with me a second. You have chronological age and you have biological age. So chronological, how long have you been here? What year were you born? And how many days, weeks, months, years since that day you came into the world? Biological age is the rate of all those processes, biological processes that go from growth into aging and in towards final stage of life. What we want to do is keep our biological age really close to our chronological age so that they've got a nice shared partnership and we go through. And that enables us to live completely full lives. That means we don't buy into mythology. When I hear people who are 40 who say, oh, I can't run anymore, my knees, that's nonsense. You can't run anymore because you didn't keep it up. You didn't do it properly. You didn't invest the right way. You didn't stay strong. There's so many other things that play a part in this. And so it's the choices we make. And we have to recognize what it is we're dealing with. And the fact is that once we reach the age of 21, 22, our body is going to produce less collagen. So knowing this, and we can see it here. Look at this. Look at the change from the age of approximately 35, and you can see this in these sections. Well, knowing this, we should be proactive. We should say, okay, well, we're going to do something about it. If I told you that once you bought your house, for every year that goes by, you're going to lose 10 bricks, I imagine you'd start buying bricks and putting them back into your house in order for your house to stay up. This is the same principle. We are going to lose collagen. And so the common sense thing to do is be preventative and put the collagen back in. And why would we do that? Well, it's the glue. It holds everything together. But also, when we see the change, as the collagen production slows and we start to see the change, that's typically the warning sign. And so that's why a lot of people think about collagen and skin, because this is the point at which they see it. But really, it's understanding more of what the function of collagen is, and we start to get the idea, okay, this is vital in lots of other areas. But this is a great indicator. But this is also a great indicator for what's happening within the gut, because we have something that's called the gut-skin axis. And so there's a reason why I'm saying this, is because our collagen product is also targeted towards optimizing gut health. And the gut is the center of the human universe. So what we see here, the changes we see, those age-related changes, they're indicative of the passage of time, the down production of collagen, but they can also be real indicators of what's happening beneath the skin. And that's an important thing to consider, because just putting a cream on doesn't change those factors. I do have to admit, whenever I show this picture here, which is the change from a more youthful to someone who's more advanced in their age, typically Scandinavian, they chose someone really, really attractive who actually doesn't look terrible in either photograph. But maybe that's the point that we're trying to make, is that when we invest in our gut health, when we invest in our collagen, we can age gracefully, we can age well, we can actually manage the circumstances far better. So this is why supporting the body becomes increasingly relevant, because your body is there for you. It is singularly the most incredible advanced bit of kit technology you will ever possess in your life. It is phenomenal. Most people don't even test within 5% of the human body's capability. It is so sophisticated, advanced, robust, resilient, capable, magnificent. After all these years of studying it, we are still figuring it out. It is remarkable. And so what we need to do is go, well, how long can I keep this phenomenal, what do we call it? System. How long can I keep that working optimally so that you can have an optimal life? And that's where you support it. You give it the things it needs. Simple things like drinking enough water on a daily basis, prioritizing the right type of nutrition so you're getting plenty of vitamins and minerals and proteins and fats in your diet on a daily basis. But then we have to think of those factors of what's inevitably going to be lost. And can we replenish that? Can we invest in order to maximize and stabilize the system as it progresses? So Collagen Boozt X is an advanced skin nutrition from Norway, and it's to target all of these things. It's to replace what we know the body will lose. It is to function at a level where it's going to integrate that gut skin axis. And it's far more than just this notion of making it look good. It's literally an investment in making the skin more resilient, more robust, because the skin is an organ. It's the largest organ. It's our first line of defense against the world. And not only is it protecting us, but it is revealing us. So any investment in the gut is truly a sound investment in yourself. This is a liquid marine collagen shot, and it's infused with a mix of superior nutrients. I'm going to check my clock. Got plenty of time. I'm going to get through all this because I want to reveal the magic of what's in the bottle. Because anyone can say anything. And when all's said and done, there's usually more said than done. So what I want to delve into is what we actually did and show you what's in this bottle and why it benefits the vast majority of people. So we have our key ingredients. This is normally where people take screenshots or photographs because they want to see the key bits. And we have 8 grams of liquid marine collagen from Arctic wild caught fish. And I'll get onto the sustainability and the quality bit a little bit later. But when I first started to look at collagen products that were available on the market, what I noticed was that there were some claiming to have high amounts of collagen because of where the threshold is set. And then there were others that were saying that they had high amounts of hyaluronic acid because of where the threshold is set. But very few, and in fact, at that time, No one had really combined these things. And we were the ones who stepped forward and did it. And that was with the original formulation. And then what we did when we had this opportunity, which was to go, okay, how can we max out within that territory? What's the upper limit we can get? And you've got to bear in mind that when you're developing a product like this, you've got to get these ratios right, particularly when you're getting towards the upper limits, because it has an impact on the nature of the product itself as to how it influences how it's consumed, the bioavailability of the product itself, the functionality of the product itself. And what you got to bear in mind here, these are the two key actives. What you have is one that is replacing the collagen that's being lost. And remember, you lose around about 1 to 2% of your total collagen per year after the age of 22-ish. So it's, we're losing it at quite a measurable rate, and it's a multiplier. And then the hyaluronic acid, well, that is integral towards what we call, like, for instance, skin hydration, maintaining the skin moisture, the hydration, and plays a huge part in creating this defensive barrier. So these are key aspects of the formulation that you've got to get right. And our attitude, based on all the research, was always, well, we want to get as much of this in as we possibly can before you turn the product into concrete, because that's what I need to mention. If you put too much, if you just keep going up and up and up, then what happens is you end up with a product that no one can actually consume. So there's a fine art to this, and we are so proud and happy with the outcome of this. We feel like we've really nailed it. The efficacy, the functionality of this, getting that sweet spot. 8 grams is high by any standard. Most people would say that they were high at 4 grams, certainly at 5 grams. We managed to get 8 grams of the finest quality liquid marine collagen into the bottle. And then it's not just the hyaluronic acid, it's the source of the hyaluronic acid and the functionality of it in synergy with the collagen. And again, we hit the sweet spot with this product. Really happy with this. Team did a great job. And then we get into our pre and postbiotics. And this is a key part now. So it's where we start to look at gut function, nurturing the gut, feeding the gut, and enabling those things that are actually the outcome of when there's been an interaction with the gut, and how that both immune function and endocrine function. So you're really playing this, like, key part in how the body communicates. So it's not just absorption, it's not just availability, it's signaling, it's messaging, it's saying, okay, we have this, where should it go? And at the same time, calming, neutralizing, restoring the gut, skin from within. That's the essence of what this is all about. It's a really sophisticated, really ahead of the game type of product. And then we have other actives in here as well. And why? Because we can. And because we know we can put other actives in here that have got well-established research roots in supporting overall skin health. So are all types of collagen created equal? Because people will say, what type of collagen is in it? And did you put this one in? And why isn't that one in? So I want you to understand this now, okay? So 3 types of collagen are the true influences of firm, glowing skin, structure, and then even to the extent that it influences our hair. So type 1 is the most abundant protein in our bodies, okay? And this makes up a huge part of our total collagen. It's around about 90%, and it's used to provide structure to our skin, tendons, ligaments, and bones. And I want you to think of that word, structure, because when it comes to this type of collagen product, what we're looking at is biological architecture. We're looking at how we can support structure and systems. Your skin is an organ, but it's a structure, and it needs to be supported. So when you think of how that structure is holding up, a loss of material, hence why I used the house analogy earlier on, means that you get a deterioration of that overall structure. So when we put it back in, we hold up, and the hold up is what gives it its vibrancy, its resilience, and its overall form. Type 2 collagen is the most abundant in cartilage, and that's known for, like, cushioning the joints and providing joint support. And then type 3 provides structure to connective tissues and blood vessels and arteries and intestinal walls. And so You can only ever put so much in a bottle, and you really want to be targeted in what it is that you intend to do. And so for us, given the fact that we were really targeting skin from within, optimizing gut health and into skin health, we knew straight from the start that we needed type 1 and type 3. That's what we had to prioritize. And that by putting type 2 in, we would really be just going off target. That's a different type of collagen product. And so type 1 and type 3 were where we needed this product to be. And so collagen peptides from fish is considered highly bioavailable source. It's the one that's most like human. And that's what you're looking for. You're looking for something that's going to fit in really, really neatly so that there is a higher amount of bioavailability, synergy, absorption. And like most things, the easier the fit, the better the key fits the lock, then the more potential there is to open it up. And so we knew straight from the start, it answered itself that we were going to go down this route. This was the exact right source that we needed for what it is we intended to achieve. It's much like the collagen that's already in your body. It supports a more sustainable process for collagen extraction and has a reduced environmental impact. And that's really important to us as well. And it should be important to every single organization around the world. We really take our role in ecological sustainability seriously. So that informs our decision making too. You know, what's going to have the least impact on the planet and the most impact on the human. That's another one of the sweet spots that we look for. And it's the same in everything that we do. And so our collagen boost is based on premium hydrolyzed marine collagen type 1 and 3, Friends of the Sea certified, sourced from traceable and sustainable wild caught Arctic cod, pollock and haddock from the Norwegian region. So that's where it all comes from. And sourcing is really important. And quite rightly in the modern world, these are the types of the types of questions that people ask. And we encourage that and we respond to that. And so the quality factors kind of speak for themselves. And what I mean by that is, you know, when you make a choice, you're going to have, okay, so we know we need to have type 1 and 3. So we know where they're best derived from. The best biological synergy is derived from. It's no longer about, shall we do this? When you follow that train of thought through, it actually says, well, to the best possible way, you have to do this. This is the only best possible way. And so it's not my role to criticize what other people do or don't do, but when you do your market analysis and you see who's operating in the space, there's a little bit of mythology that gets utilized to really justify poor decision making. And I'm not going to name anyone in particular because that wouldn't be fair. Because the reality is if you follow it through in the natural order of what goes from sustainability to quality to form and function and outcome, this is the route you have to take. Is it the cheapest route? No. Is it the less complex route? No. The formulation starts to become a bit more difficult to achieve, but that's the right route. And in life, it's just good that you do the right thing. So that's what we did. What is hyaluronic acid? I've kind of explained it. It's the most naturally occurring substance found in the body. It's got similarities and partnerships to collagen. It's in the fluid of the eyes and in the connective tissues. Its skin is made up of connective tissue, and that consists of a cellular component and an extracellular matrix. Now, I don't know if you know this, but there are only three really areas of the body that last for a lifetime. Everything else is cellular turnover, it's changing, it's renewing. But you have 40% of your cardiac tissue. There are certain neurons that last for a lifetime, and then there is a lens in the eye that lasts for a lifetime. These are the parts of you that actually last forever. That everything else changes and transforms over time. And actually preserving them, like an investment in the quality of them, is becoming a real area of focus with regards to the research. You know, we look at lots of different things when it comes to human well-being and wellness, but much of the research now has started to look at, well, what is an investment you can make in the aspects of human that last for a lifetime? And that's actually where you start to have conversations about hyaluronic acid and collagen again, because they are structural in their function and they uphold and preserve these types of systems. So it's really interesting. And I think in 2 years' time, if we have a conversation about this again, I'll be able to give more of an insight with what the research is saying about that. But I find that really fascinating and not just coincidental. Hyaluronic acid is known for its role in moisture retention in the body. You may have heard people say that the body is 67% water. That's not true. The body is 67, 68% fluid. Fluid is the superhighway, the process of everything in the body, and the retention of moisture, whether it's in the skin or whether it's in those other types of beneath the skin processes, is therefore essential too, because that's the conveyance by which everything happens. And hyaluronic acid is known for its role in preserving this and locking this in within the cell. And hydrated skin is better equipped to repel external irritations and contaminants. Everything from, the spread of germs, everything from things that circulate in the air, from the basics to the more complex things. Hydrated skin is your first line of defense. And it's actually dehydrated skin, which one reveals itself by how it looks, but secondly reveals itself by how easily a person can contract simple things. Even something as simple as the common cold or a skin irritation has a direct reliance and correlation with how well hydrated the skin actually is itself. And so it's essential that this features within the product. We've spent a lot of time looking at the gut over the past few years here at Zinzino. And often we have a huge, phenomenal prebiotic fiber blend, which is called Xenobiotic, which is not a part of this talk. But I want you to think of this: prebiotics feed the gut. So these are the lifespan of the gut. And if you want to create a balanced ecology within the human gut, you want to make sure there is a sufficient amount of fibers each and every day. And I don't know if you know this, but all around the world, the average person consumes less than 50% of the recommended intake of fiber per day. And that has a huge compromise on all different types of levels. But certainly, it doesn't optimize the human gut. So we put them in there. First of all, you feed the gut. Postbiotics. Well, this is like the outcome. So when those gut bacteria have consumed those prebiotics, they produce postbiotics. And so when you know there is a deficiency of pre, it's a fair assumption to say there will also be a deficiency of post. And post play an active role with regards to supporting normal immune function and actually endocrine function. So they become signaling regulators. So you've got pre, nurturing the gut. You've got post, which is then optimizing the signal and the pathway. And you've presented the system with hyaluronic acid. You've presented the system with the 8 grams of collagen. So what you get is better, effective, more signaling, calmer gut, and you've got a product that has an enhanced functionality through increased bioavailability. Both are increasingly being explored in the scientific research, particularly in the context of gut microbiome and its connection to the other systems in the body, particularly and including the skin. Why do we have more active ingredients? Why do we put more in? Because we can, and we know what the research says about these actives. So we've got things like vitamin C, we've got zinc, we've got biotin in there, we've got rice bran ceramides, we've got copper, we've got acerola extract, we've got L-arginine, and we've got glycine in here. So this is a fully formed, targeted skin health product. That's what it is, all in this beautifully presented, elegant little bottle. What we recommend people do per day is to take it once per day as a boost, because we've put in higher amounts of collagen and hyaluronic acid. And what we encourage people to do is take it for 10 days back to back. So you take one a day for 10 days, boosting the availability of that collagen and the hyaluronic acid. Anybody here with a research background or who's been paying attention to the wider commercial area will say, but haven't we been told we need to take it every single day? So first of all, if you want to, you can. It's completely safe to do that. You could take this product every single day. That will be fine. Secondly, you don't have to. if you look at the real research around collagen, consistency is everything, and our body works on different types of oscillations. And there is a great amount of emerging research that says that when you have higher amounts, total amount, interventional periods, 7 to 10 days, which fits neatly with physiological windows of adaptation, work really, really well. Okay, and what happens is you are prompting the body to synthesize, to produce its own collagen, and you're targeting once a month an increase, the spike of available collagen and hyaluronic acid. Another strategy that some people use is to take it every other day. So they'll take it one day, take it a third day, take it a fifth day onwards. If you do that, you will notice that your net intake across a month is greater than people taking a standalone once per day. So whichever way you choose to do it, it's flexible. It's entirely up to you. But I still stand behind going back to my background as a physiologist, looking at adaptation, how the body responds. I stand by the recommendation. Take it once a day for 10 days every month. Target it as an intervention like that. Get a huge amount of benefit from it. We invest a lot of time and effort and work on what we call kind of concept. So concept work. When we have something that we make available to people, how is that really working? And so what we do is we partner with research institutes so that we can look at this objectively, third party, so that we can quantify this and look at how it's going. We've got a number of those studies going on at the moment, and the findings of them have been really fascinating and insightful. So we stand behind what it is that we do, what we provide, and I would happily take to any forum and compare this to what's available out there and see it as best in class. So that's collagen in a bottle, literally in a bottle. We're really proud of the product. We're proud of the function of the product. We're proud of the benefits that we've seen from the product. And we're confident that you will have huge success with it too. So thank you all for being here. Thank you for listening. I hope that was useful as an insight.